This is Bull Evil News.
Reporting on the assassination of Anwar al-Awlaki.
On September 30th, 2011, 2 men were killed by a U.S. drone strike. The American target had been Anwar al-Awlaki, but another militant, Samir Khan, was unintentionally attacked and killed as well.
Graduating from Colorado State University, Anwar al-Awlaki lived in the United States until age 7. When he was 7 years old, his family returned to Yemen. Al-Awlaki returned to the U.S. in 1991 for college and remained there until 2002. He then briefly lived in London before returning back to Yemen. From then on, al-Awlaki was involved in a number of crimes ranging from failed plots to bring down jetliners to killing fellow soldiers and the kidnapping of U.S. citizens. It wasn't until 2010 that the U.S. Treasury Department designated Anwar al-Awlaki as a global terrorist.
Prior events of terrorism had already put Yemen under pressure, ever since the terrorist group al-Qaeda began attacking Yemen's 2 main allies, Saudi Arabia and the U.S. Previous attacks, such as the bombing of the USS Cole and the 2008 American Embassy attack, have contributed to the growing tensions against the terrorist group.
The U.S. had already been involved in Yemeni operations against al-Qaeda since late 2009, including training, intelligence sharing, several troops, and direct involvement. The U.S., however, still denies involvement in several incidents involving Yemen and al-Qaeda.
According to The Times, in 2010, the U.S., in cooperation with Yemeni officials, launched 4 cruise missiles at suspected terrorist targets in Yemen. In May 2010, U.S. drone attacks targeting al-Qaeda terrorists in Wadi Abida, Yemen, killed 5 people, among them the deputy governor of Marib province. It angered those who fought with the government's security forces, twice attacking a major oil pipeline in Marib. Tensions increased, and by August 2010, the Yemeni army launched a major offensive in the city of Laudar. Further attacks in Zinjibar led to the deaths of 4 soldiers and the injury of 1 soldier. A security officer determined that these attackers were members of al-Qaeda, who had been stepping up to high-profile attacks in the southern part of the country.
On September 20th, a number of militants attacked and took control of a village, Huta. This occurred as the top U.S. counterterrorism advisor John O. Brennan was on a visit to Yemen to discuss cooperation in the fight against al-Qaeda. According to the White House, a letter was delivered from Obama expressing U.S. support for a unified, stable, democratic, and prosperous Yemen. Al-Qaeda militants who had in Huta been using humans as shields made it difficult for the residents to leave. The second day of the siege, Yemeni army destroyed 5 homes suspected of hiding al-Qaeda militants. Anwar al-Awlaki was not among the casualties. On September 24, 2010, the government siege of al-Huta ended after security forces took control of the town in the southern province of Shauba.
The conflict continued as al-Qaeda conquered several parts of Yemen. On March 26, 2011, al-Qaeda captured the town of Jar, and on March 27, 2011, they conquered the strategic mountain of Khanfar, a weapons factory.
On June 3, 2011, American manned jets and drones attacked several other militant suspects in a strike in southern Yemen. 4 civilians were also reportedly killed, leading to Anwar al-Awlaki's assassination on September 30, 2011.
Overall, the conflict in Yemen yielded 2,200 or more deaths, many of them innocent civilians.
The U.S. should not have gotten involved in the issues in Yemen. It is obvious from the events that occurred in the Vietnam War that interfering in the affairs of other countries only results in the deaths of thousands.
Appropriate retaliation in response to terrorism in the U.S., such as the USS Cole bombing, was necessary. However, the extensive involvement in Yemen affairs was not needed and cost several innocent lives that could have been easily spared.
Instead, we believe that the government should have sent only resources to the countries that were under terrorist watch, such as Yemen. This way, physical conflict could have been avoided and several innocent lives could have been saved.
We hope that the President of the United States takes these precautions into consideration during future events like the terrorists in Yemen.
Thank you for joining us on today's session of Bull Weevil News.